Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. Kings Island is testing their rides for opening day. The park officially opens to the public in 2 weeks on April 20th.
Oh, look at that, rolling out Mystic Timbers.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Oh, look, they got like...
I need some good Kings Island days.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. They got like these little blow-up things that they put on there.
Yeah.
Like fake bodies. Wait, that seems weird, does it? To say it like that.
It's a little weird, but
yeah,
I mean,
cool.
that is what it is.
Hey,
so.
you know what? It is a sure sign that summer is just around the corner.
So close.
And Swifties, listen up. Taylor Swift's laser light shows return to the Boom Shop. Get amped. Your tickets are on sale now for 2 shows on Friday, April 19th. That's actually my birthday.
Oh, maybe you should go.
I'll sit there and be like,
the
it's my
Swift light
birthday,
show.
girls. Let's listen. I'm sure that'd go well.
It probably would.
They'd be like, wow, okay.
This is really fun, and I feel like everyone who talks about the laser light shows love them. So.
Wait a minute. I was born in 1989, just like Taylor Swift. Is that a sign, Alex?
It is that you need to go.
It is my era, isn't it?
It's on your birthday
It's my
for a reason.
My laser light era.
It's fate.
That's right.
And get funky and enjoy some wine tomorrow night at Jouy in downtown Dayton. They're having a dance party with a DJ spinning vintage vinyls. Tickets are $25.
Yeah, and that ticket actually gets you your first glass of wine as well. So,
oh,
yeah, it should be a good old
sounds
time.
like such a great event.
Yeah, it's quite the vibe, you know.
Love that.
Playing some funk, which is appropriate here in Dayton, the birthplace of funk. So, yeah.
And a glass of wine. Who doesn't need a glass of wine?
Oh, yeah. That'd be a good time.
That's your funk dance?
I don't know. I'm just being weird today.
Taking a live look over the Miami Valley thanks to Skycams. We are waking up to a cool start in Dayton. I actually had to turn up the heat before I went out the door this morning because it was freezing in our house.
Yeah, it was a little chilly, but you know what? It is opening day for the Dayton Dragons, okay? You may be wondering if it's going to warm up and actually feel like baseball weather, so let's check in with meteorologist Nick Maruziak, who has your Friday forecast. Nick?
Well, I'll tell you this much. It is not going to be the old-fashioned ball game where the ball is going to be flying out of the yard and everybody's going to be running to the stand for cold drinks. It's going to be the type of day where we are yet again going to be quite cloudy and cool. Temperatures 30s giving way to 40s. Worth pointing out for ball game time, we're going to be upper 40s. We probably should be still in the 40s at 7th inning, but still we're talking about very much so a cold start. But you know what? It's baseball, right? I mean, we've waited, some of us, all year for this. Mets won their first game yesterday. It only took them a full week. Anyway, the point of the matter is we do have a freeze warning issued through Saturday morning. That means that temperatures are going to be cold enough that if you leave plants outside, they could be harmed. Meanwhile, if you're on the roads this morning, so far it's relatively quiet, so good news there. Haven't seen any types or issues. Just a reminder, the 2 roads are still closed where we do have the flooding, including 571 and over at Rip Rap.
The FBI is investigating a case right here in the Miami Valley. You're looking at agents at one of 2 raids in the area. Officials tell us they're both linked.
Jenny Bork was in Troy. She brings us up to speed as the investigation rolls on.
Agents were in downtown Dayton near Monument Avenue conducting court-authorized law enforcement activity. They were also on Barnhart Road near US 55 in Troy. I spoke to a resident to get a feel for what that neighborhood is like.
This has been an extremely peaceful neighborhood, probably one of the more established neighborhoods, kind of, you know, just an older neighborhood. We've never had any problems, very family friendly.
FBI agents were at a home in a quiet neighborhood in Troy sometime around 3:30 p.m. yesterday. They stayed for at least 5 hours.
They focused their efforts on a car and a brown 2-story home. You can see federal agents coming out of the front door of the house. The house backs up to a creek, and later I saw 2 agents who looked like they were stationed there keeping watch. A robot was also in the backyard, but it isn't clear why it was being used or what it can detect. Cottrell says she's never seen anything like this here.
This is very surprising. It's not something that is typical for here. It was a little worrisome. Like I got a call from a family and said, hey, look on the news. I thought maybe it was a gas leak at first or something like that.
Troy wasn't the only location the FBI was at for this investigation. They were also downtown Dayton on Monument Avenue between Kiwi and Taylor Streets. Dayton police had that area blocked off. A self-storage building and the Entrepreneurs Center are two of the buildings on that block.
A representative with the Cincinnati field office of the FBI tells us this was all part of an ongoing investigation. No other information will be released at this time. Back to you.
Our local communities in the path of totality are gearing up for people to start coming out into our areas this weekend. Now, this Monday, Darke County will go dark. Now, the area will stay dark longer than any part of Ohio. The Darke County Visitors Bureau says 30 to 40,000 people could travel to the county for the eclipse. That would nearly double its population.
The deputies are going to be upstaffed. I'll have a lot of deputies out on the road to provide a service to anybody who might need it. And I have staffed the 911 center with twice the staff I normally do.
Now, if you want to head out to Darke County on Monday, the manager for the Eldora Speedway says they've been planning for more than a year and there are still campsites available.
An author that's traveled all over the world to see multiple eclipses in totality will be heading here to Dayton to see yet another. Brian Brewer wrote Eclipse Experience All in the Path of Totality, and he's coming here to see his 7th total solar eclipse. He saw his first eclipse back in 1979 and has been traveling to see them ever since, and encourages everyone to get outside to experience it.
Seeing the corona and being in the darkness of the moon shadow for a few minutes during totality is really an awe-inspiring experience. A lot of people come away from this just kind of blown away and realizing, wow, this is something huge, and it's a wonder. It's really a wonderful feeling. Folks in Dayton, they've hit the eclipse jackpot. You don't have to go anywhere. It's right in your backyard.
There won't be another eclipse in the U.S. for 2 decades, and it won't happen over Ohio until 2099.
Make sure you join us for Eclipse Across America, live stream from 1 to 4 on Mondays as we track the eclipse from coast to coast. Tune in for unmatched coverage with more than 50 live locations, dozens of local meteorologists and NASA experts. Watch Eclipse Across America at Dayton247now.com.
And coming up in 30 minutes, we'll chat with Nick for an in-depth look to what the weather for the eclipse is looking like.
Our time right now is 5:07. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
New polling shows former President Donald Trump is ahead in many crucial swing states, some of the same ones that President Joe Biden won in 2020. I'm Matt Gelka in Washington, and I'll have the story coming up.
And the fight for funding in Ukraine is still hot in Washington. Coming up, Speaker Johnson's private visits to the White House.
You're watching Your Day. The White House is talking privately with Speaker Mike Johnson about continued aid to Ukraine. That's according to Politico, which reports talks have been ongoing throughout Congress's 2-week break, while the White House is pressuring Republicans to get the job done. They're holding their fire on Johnson.
I'm going to tell you right now, funding Ukraine is probably one of the most egregious things that he can do. There's not even any daylight between him and Nancy Pelosi at this point.
Despite their frustration, White House officials believe the approach could result in the $60 billion aid package moving forward. Both the Biden administration and some Republicans are saying time's not on Ukraine's side.
We are at a critical point. The CIA director, the Secretary of Defense, everybody has made it clear that we are at a critical juncture on the ground.
Johnson continues to deal with a dwindling GOP majority. Democrats say they'll work with him, but only on deals where something's in it for them.
Here's the view right now over Dayton, where it is another cloudy start. At least at this point, there isn't that much rain across the area. We have had just a shower passing through this morning, more just very, very light rain up until basically it exited out. There's not much on the horizon, but based on just the overall atmospheric moisture and the way that today is likely to go, I can't rule out areas of drizzle, sprinkles, or perhaps even a light shower during the afternoon. That being said, this will certainly start to clear out, and the question mark tonight is just how quickly we do clear. If we do get a lot more clear skies, there is the likelihood of us dropping all the way down to around freezing, even in Dayton. Obviously, elsewhere where we do get those colder spots, that's going to be a concern, especially anybody that did plant. That's why we have a freeze warning. This is where we talk about knowing when to start planting and knowing when not to. If you have any plants that are sensitive, you need to bring them inside. I know I have a couple of plants that I have had right now, thought a process of, do I bring them out? I'm holding off until probably about another week, maybe even 2 weeks. That all being said, we start to see some milder temperatures beginning perhaps tomorrow, but certainly for Sunday. Today, still going to be in the upper 40s. Tomorrow starts out somewhere in a ballpark of freezing, maybe even upper 20s for some of us. Then for tomorrow during the daytime, we'll call it partly cloudy. Highs should be in the middle 50s. The rest of the forecast and probably everybody's looking forward to is the eclipse. I'm thinking around 70 degrees, and we'll touch on this in more detail, but the general theme is for there to be a window for us to not have as many clouds, which would certainly be some good news. On the roads this morning, right for now, things seem to be moving okay. Just a reminder that we do have some road construction outside right around the Dixie Highway area, so if that's part of your morning commute, keep that in mind. Otherwise, no major issues on the interstates.
We're just about 7 months out from the 2024 presidential election. New polling this week shows President Joe Biden may be falling behind in several crucial swing states. National correspondent Matt Galka joins us now with why Donald Trump may have an advantage.
6 out of 7 critical swing states are breaking towards Donald Trump in the latest Wall Street Journal poll released this week. It's hard to spin it as anything other than bad news for Joe Biden's re-election chances. But First Lady Jill Biden tried to this week.
He's losing in all the battleground states.
No, he's not losing in all the battleground states. He's coming up, and he's even or doing better. So, you know what? Once people start to focus in and they see their two choices, it's obvious that Joe will win this election.
The poll shows 6 out of 7 battleground states across the country have Donald Trump leading Joe Biden. In Georgia and Pennsylvania, it's Trump +3. Across the country in Nevada, it's Trump +4. And in Arizona, Trump +5. The only outlier, Wisconsin, where Joe Biden is up 3 points there. Biden won all but North Carolina in 2020, and it propelled him to the White House. Part of the problem now could be the traditional hold the Democratic Party has had on Hispanic voters is slipping. Something the president seemingly acknowledged in a trip to Phoenix last month.
I need you. I need you badly. I need the help. Kamala and I desperately need your help.
While Republicans have made gains with non-white voters, part of the concern could be over third-party candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with some surveys showing him winning over 1 in 5 Latino voters in the Southwest.
The Southwest is critical.
Mike Noble is an Arizona-based pollster. He says the worries over Biden losing the Hispanic voting bloc are real.
The numbers don't lie. The Hispanic voters are not only have been moving slightly away from the Democratic Party, but we've unequivocally shown that they're a disaffected group. They're a movable group.
The Wall Street Journal poll shows some hope for the campaigns to make up ground or build a bigger lead. About a quarter of the voters surveyed in the battleground states were undecided or still persuadable. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Our time right now is 5:17, still to come.
A remarkable story that saved this little boy's life who was in need of a liver donation. I'm Liz Bonus. We can't wait to share it just ahead.
It's National Deep Dish Pizza Day. How you can serve up a slice to celebrate next.
You're watching Your Day.
It is time for Pet of the Day here on Your Day. And, you know, on Friday we get a little weird. We try not to be too weird. Well, at least most those two don't. I, of course, embrace it. But today we got Joey joining us. Joey, a bearded dragon, sent in by Bill and Kathy. Big thank you to Bill and Kathy. Temperatures today going to be in the 40s. I know that I believe lizards, snakes are cold-blooded, which means these guys are going to need some warmth. They're not going to be allowed outside without some sort of sunshine because, boy, it is going to be a chilly one. Of course, if you're going to be out and about today, you're going to want to bundle up too. But the good news is we are going to see some warmer temperatures, but not until well into tomorrow. So for tomorrow morning, it is definitely going to be another big-time jacket day. The good news is, though, next week we're going to have temperatures not only in the 60s, but We could also get near 70 degrees. On the roads this morning, it's fairly quiet. No major tie-ups or concerns at this hour. Things seem to be moving pretty steadily thus far.
Gym Pass is rebranding to Well Hub as people focus more on wellness. The move allows Well Hub to reach more facilities and services like nutrition, sleep, and meditation. Well Hub currently has more than 15,000 corporate clients and 2.7 million employees across 11 countries, including the U.S. Well, vaping may cause a substantial increase in the risk of heart failure. People who vaped at any point were 19% more likely to develop heart failure compared to those who never used e-cigarettes. The study's lead author says more and more studies are linking e-cigarettes to harmful effects and finding they may not be as safe as previously thought. And some ADHD medication is being recalled because the bottles may have a different drug. Azurity Pharmaceuticals says the wrong drug is to treat allergies and is a sedative, the exact opposite of the ADHD drug. Consumers who receive the recalled medication should return it to their local pharmacy immediately. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
The family of a little boy whose life was saved by a stranger is now raising awareness of the need for living organ donation. Medical reporter Liz Bonus shares how they're giving this amazing life gift.
So this is a story about saving little Curtis, who you see here. He was diagnosed with a rare childhood blood cancer, and it scarred his liver and left him in need of a liver transplant. And so in January of last year, this little 3-year-old, Curtis Binkley, was put on the transplant list for a liver donor.
We started praying about it and everything like that, sticking his face and picture in the church bulletin, and and then eventually one day we found out that there was somebody on out there.
That somebody happened to be Shannon Black. She had signed up to be tested as a living liver donor, hoping to give a portion of her liver to her cousin, who also needed a transplant. Sadly, her cousin did not survive.
I think if he hadn't had to wait so long, he could have made it through.
But in that process, guess what? It turned out Shannon's liver was the perfect size and match for little Curtis. Welcome news for a family praying for a miracle.
We finally had, hope after just waiting months and months and months.
This is little Curtis now. After that successful liver living donor transplant, his family and Shannon met up with us at Cincinnati's Great American Ballpark. A Major League game this month supports living liver donation.
Without the donations, I don't know what we would be doing right now.
While Shannon is sad about her own family's loss, she says every donor moves someone else up the list.
And I think it's just a really important, life-changing thing to do.
The family of this now healthy little boy says you can't imagine how much.
It takes an amazing person to give a part of themselves so a little guy like him could live.
So just to clarify, you can donate a portion of your liver while alive because it's the only human organ that regenerates. If you'd like to find out more about perhaps helping someone in this way, you can reach out to the Living Liver Foundation. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
A relatively new drug to treat ALS is now being pulled from the shelves. Amylyx Pharmaceuticals made the announcement yesterday that is voluntarily withdrawing Relyvrio from the market. The FDA approved Relyvrio in September 2022, and the decision was controversial at the time. Some said there wasn't enough proof it was helpful. Now, a more recent and larger trial showed no evidence the drug worked. The company says patients who are currently on Relyvrio should talk to their doctor.
Nearly 2 million clothing steamers are now being recalled after consumers report burn injuries. Those injuries coming from this Black & Decker model HGS011, the Easy Garment steamer. Hot water spraying or leaking out of it is what's causing the burns back in 2022. Empower Brands recalled around 500,000 steamers. It's now adding another 1.6 million units. These were sold at several stores that include Walmart, Target, and Bed Bath & Beyond, and Amazon.
2 newborn pygmy slow lorises are making their big debut at the Smithsonian's National Zoo. Sorry, I had no idea what these things were. These 2 fur cuties were born just last month. The proud parents are Naga and Pabu. Don't be fooled. Pygmy slow lorises are venomous, the only known primates, oh my gosh, I can't speak, of its kind, and they are endangered. They can deliver a painful bite that can cause an allergic reaction and a slow healing wound. But their venom is not fast acting, so they don't use it against predators. They are native to Cambodia, Lao People's Democratic Republic, and Vietnam.
Those are cute and evil at the same time. And it's time to toss the dough, shred the cheese, and preheat the oven. Or you could just go to your local Chicago-style pizzeria because it's National Deep Dish Pizza Day. Alex loves this. Yes. This hearty variation of the classic pizza pie is sure to fill you up and make your stomach happy. That's because the thick crust holds a boatload of sauce and toppings. So however you do it, treat yourself to a yummy slice of deep dish deliciousness today, and Giordano's there pretty good.
Yes, yeah, I know. I'm so happy that there's one in Beaver Creek.
But haters of deep dish pizza call it lasagna.
You know what? Haters gonna hate.
Okay. I mean, it's good. I'll eat it.
So good. I love it so much, and I might have to order some Giordano's to pick up after we get off.
It fills you up so quick, though.
It does. No, that's what I like about it. I like that I only have to eat one slice of pizza, and I'm good to go.
Oh, that looks great.
And then the leftovers last so long.
I'm eating pizza for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Let's go.
Our time right now is 5:28, still to come.
Oh, it's opening day for the Dayton Dragons. Stay tuned because we have what's coming up this season coming up next.
The food bank working to help address hunger in the Miami Valley. How you can help next.
You're watching Your Day.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 stories to get your day started. You can visit parts of Buckingham Palace before King Charles moves in. Tickets are now available to tour the palace's refurbished East Wing. It includes the front of the building and central balcony.
Oh, I do see what you were doing right there.
Whoa, you sounded like Johnny Depp just then.
Just a little drunk pirate, you know what I mean? Jack Sparrow, here we go. He's not moved into Buckingham Palace already?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Where's he been
I don't
living?
know. Well, maybe because he's been going through treatment. I don't know.
I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
And a Scottish singer is promoting the benefits of speech fasting. Lulu says she stays completely silent until noon to take care of her instrument. Recent studies also show it can reduce stress and lower blood pressure. I can't shut up for more than 5 minutes. So this would be difficult.
I mean, really, just like my car rides to and from work are my resting time.
Honestly, I think so too, but I probably talk to myself and don't know it.
You're over here blasting music and singing at the
No,
top of your lungs.
No. I'm very peaceful.
I actually meditate in the car on the way here every morning.
With your eyes open?
It makes it hard. I will say that.
Okay.
The mayor of an Italian island overrun by goats is giving them away. Turns out there are only 100 people on the island, but 600 goats, so it's causing some, quote, tension. There aren't any restrictions on who can apply for a goat or how many you can request. We're talking about giving cows away yesterday. Now we're talking about goats today.
I don't want any of them.
What is going on?
Goats are weird.
Those are, if anything is creepy, these are the creepy goats.
Yeah. Look,
Look at those giant antlers.
Yeah, no. But they could
That
mow
one's cute.
Hey, they can mow your lawn for free. There you go.
True that.
The countdown to the 2024 total solar eclipse is on. Now, in just a matter of days, parts of the Miami Valley will be in totality for the first time in more than 2 centuries.
So exciting. State and local leaders are preparing to make sure everyone has a safe experience. Gwen Falloon joins us now with how Riverside is doing something a little unique.
Last night, Riverside City Council actually declared a temporary state of emergency. They're expecting tens of thousands of people to be in this area for 2 of the larger events nearby, but the issue is not the number of people coming, it's the traffic they'll bring. Both events are on either side of Harshman Road, and that's the city's main corridor through Riverside.
But the main idea is to help organize the traffic so we can get people flowing as quickly as possible. And the state of emergency just, I think, helps build awareness about that. And again, just sets that expectation that we want people to come and have a great time, but to be patient, be safe, and to just know that we may have to flex traffic patterns during the day depending on how things actually evolve.
It's only a week-long decoration. It started at midnight and is in effect until next Friday at 12 a.m. That gives the city some wiggle room because it's hard to predict when people will be arriving and when they'll be heading out. Now, for you all at home, this declaration really isn't going to affect your day-to-day life. Just keep in mind, Monday it's going to be busy, so pack your patience, fill your gas tank, and be responsible. Back to you.
Starting today, you can head out to Piat Castle, Macacheek for a solar eclipse demonstration. At 11:30 and 2 at the castle, there's going to be a demonstration showing how the moon casts its shadow as it moves between the sun and the earth. Participants will discover how the land surrounding the castle has changed since the last one in 1806. They're also going to show how they're expecting it to appear on Monday. They'll hold a demonstration daily at the same time through Monday. It's free to attend, and the address is on your screen. Make sure you join us for Eclipse Across America, a live stream from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time as we track the eclipse from coast to coast. Tune in for unmatched coverage of more than 50 live locations. Dozens of local meteorologists and NASA experts watch Eclipse Across America at Dayton247now.com.
And there's been a lot of concern about the weather for Monday's eclipse. Will it rain, snow? You never really know here in Ohio, but meteorologist Nick Maruziak has all the answers for us. So you have the forecast for around that time.
Let's just review, because I think it's important to talk about the timing of this. So here we are at 3:07. It's still in Indianapolis. It's not until about 3:10 that's over us. And then by 3:13, it's out of here. So we're only talking about a 3-minute window.
Yeah.
It could be sunny all throughout the time period, but that 3-minute window could throw things off. Let's hold off on trying to pin down it, but here's the general theme of the day. So at 9 a.m., we may still have 1 or 2 showers in the area. We've talked about that system, that moving out. So that's good news there. By noontime right now, my thought process is we could start to see some sunshine. And by 3 p.m. or so, not only could it be sunny, but we could also have temperatures near 70 degrees. Now, a lot of this will depend on the timing of this system, but the general theme is for the second half of the day to be drier. It's just always a question mark of how many clouds, what do the clouds look like? And unfortunately, this is a little bit far to pick out that detail, but the general theme is for a lot more quieter conditions than maybe we feared at first.
Okay, well, definitely looking forward to that warmer weather. Fingers crossed that the clouds clear out.
Yep, exactly. One thing I'm not looking forward to is, well, the traffic around the area that day. And right for now, traffic is light, so perhaps maybe the visitors aren't quite here yet, but I would expect them to start arriving here over the next, 48 hours or so?
These two men are now charged in connection to a deadly January shooting. Prosecutors say William Brown and Kyrie Whitaker shot and killed a man while trying to rob him near the Greater Dayton Recreation Center. Both are facing murder and aggravated robbery charges. Brown has pleaded not guilty. Whitaker has pled guilty. Both are being held on a $1 million bond and are due in court again next week.
Miami Township Assistant Chief Jason Eder is now a lieutenant. The Township's Board of Trustees voted to demote Eder in a vote yesterday. Officials say he failed to investigate claims of harassment and racism. Now, 2 trustees voted not to fire Eder, but agreed he should be punished, saying his actions must have consequences.
An unpaid suspension for 30 calendar days and then demotion to the position of lieutenant, with no ability to serve in an acting capacity above the rank of lieutenant effective immediately.
The board's investigation found Eder knew about the potential harassment. He directed someone to look into it, but then never followed up. The board also found Eder made fun of and gossiped about members of the department.
The Dayton Food Bank wants your help to fight hunger in the Miami Valley. The food bank in downtown Dayton supports underserved members of the Dayton community by providing food and related supplies to those in need. Organizers tell us they need volunteers.
One of the things that we're always looking for is donations and, of course, volunteers. Because a lot of people think that the only way that they can get involved in our mission is to have a pocket full of money that they can hand over. But the truth is that just donating your time and donating your advocacy to bring awareness to the issue of hunger is a really big help.
Our team here at Dayton 24/7 Now will be heading out to the food bank on Tuesday to volunteer. We'll be helping sort through donations and putting together boxes and meal kits to give to the community. If you're interested in volunteering your time at the food bank, you can head to thefoodbankdayton.org and set up a time. The wait is finally over. Today is opening day for the Dayton Dragons.
Yes, and there's going to be a ton of excitement down at Day Air Ballpark. We sent Melena Brown down there to give a preview of what's to come. Melena.
Guys, it's been a long 7 months since the Dayton Dragons closed out their 2023 season, but now we're back for opening day. There is so much to enjoy this year and plenty of opportunities to come down here and catch a game. Now, the Dragons regular season has 120 games, so there's a lot of chances to be able to catch a game here at Day Air Ballpark. The schedule includes games Tuesday through Saturday. There are a lot of ticket options, and of course, if you have kids, you're going to want to check out the Dragons Family Club. I'm told opening day is one of the best days of the baseball season.
Opening night for the Dayton Dragons is the end of a long and detailed process. There aren't very many sports that have what would be the equivalent of your Super Bowl at the start of the year. Maybe NASCAR does that to some degree with the Daytona 500, where their first event is their biggest event. In a way, that's sort of how we look at it also.
Tom Nichols with the Dayton Dragons shared how excited the entire staff of the team and stadium are to get this season kicked off. Now stay tuned throughout the morning because we are going to be talking to officials from the Dragons all morning long to get some new information on what's to come this year. Back to you.
Our time right now is 5:40. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Taking a live look over Baltimore this morning, where President Biden is expected to visit later today. We'll get to that in a bit.
And chances are someone you know could be suffering from long COVID, what doctors are now saying about the disease's long-lasting impacts.
You're watching Your Day.
Coming up this week on Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson, you likely know someone suffering from long-standing illnesses after having COVID. The new study is showing up to 1 in 4 adults who have had COVID may be afflicted. Now, 2 doctors here in the U.S. on the leading edge of treating thousands of patients with long COVID say they're learning new information daily.
Describe what you see happening to people. What is happening to patients?
So in many ways, I mean, it is very young people that were otherwise athletic and living their life in basically every way you would think a fit, 20 to 40-year-old would do. And then they go from that to being debilitated. And then on top of that, as Pierre say, I mean, the kind of increase in the type of cancer diagnosis that I even have in my primary care practice, to neurological diseases that I never thought would happen, to things like systemic amyloidosis that I would have never seen in some of these patients, or may have seen once in a lifetime.
Now this week on Full Measure, Cheryl Atkinson examines the latest research on perplexing illnesses stemming from COVID. You can watch Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson this Sunday at 7:30 a.m. on ABC 22 and 10:30 p.m. on Fox 45.
President Biden is heading to Baltimore today as crews work to clear the wreckage of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. He's expected to be joined by Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg, Maryland Governor Wes Moore, and other state and local officials.
Leaders from the Coast Guard and the Army Corps of Engineers will share updates on the assistance they are providing to state officials in surveying and removing the wreckage in the channel and allowing the Port of Baltimore to reopen as soon as humanly possible.
The bridge fell last week after it was struck by a massive cargo ship. 6 construction workers were killed in the collapse, including 2 whose bodies were recovered last week. The White House says Biden will also meet with the families of the workers.
There's a new timeline for restoring access to the Port of Baltimore following that bridge collapse. Now, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers announced it plans to fully reopen the channel leading to the Baltimore port by the end of May. Before then, by the end of April, it plans to open limited access channel. Authorities have said clearing the channel will lead to the reopening of the port to vessel traffic, but it will also allow for the continued search for bodies.
Here's what we're looking at for right now. A lot of cloudy skies. The rain that had moved through has now basically moved out. Temperature-wise, we're hanging around 40 degrees. Interesting, because we thought that there could be a window where we drop all the way into the mid-30s. Haven't quite gotten there, although some of our more northern communities have gotten a bit cooler. One thing it does feel like is the mid-30s, that due to the wind chill right now. And don't forget, we've got a busy slate of things going on in town. First Friday, Oregon District, 5 p.m., temperatures mid-40s. By 7 p.m. will be generally cloudy, and we'll continue with some cloud cover all the way through 9 p.m. It is probably jacket weather and probably the type of weather that's a little bit too cold to eat outside, but they probably have a couple of space heaters, so maybe enjoy that while you can.
Our time right now is 5:46. The Dayton Dragons season begins today. Coming up, Matt Digby breaks down some of the new and familiar faces on this year's roster.
You're watching Your Day.
the Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
This year's hurricane season could be one for the record books, with nearly double the average number of named storm predicted this season. From June to November, forecasters predict 23 named storms, including 11 hurricanes and 5 Category 3 or higher for major hurricanes. It's the most active April forecast ever issued. On average, there are 14 named storms with 7 hurricanes, 3 of them major. Nick, so when we're talking about hurricanes, what are the elements that need to come together to classify it as a hurricane?
So one, you would need it's a warm core system, an area of high pressure in the middle of it, and it also needs to form in the tropics. It has to be, I believe it's called a warm core system, and that's where storms like Sandy get weird because they go from hurricane into a different style low. Point of the matter is, one of the things that we have to have is a warm basin. Warm tropical waters, light winds, less shear, less Saharan dust. And we'll kind of detail that coming up here in a few minutes, but the general theme is for perfect conditions. And what's worse is this hurricane season in particular is likely to form near the coast, which does put the East Coast and Gulf Coast at risk.
Wow, not dealing with hurricanes here, but we have had some windy days.
Yeah, that we have, and it has not been very fun, has it? But you know what? We got some decent weather for baseball tonight.
That's right, and we have Matt Digby with sports.
Baseball is back in Dayton for 2024, and the Dayton Dragons have 3 home games to open the new season, starting Friday night when they host the Lansing Lugnuts. And there is a lot of excitement around the 2024 roster. A new manager in Cincinnati native Vince Harrison Jr., and the roster has a mix of experienced players such as Ruben Ibarra and Jay Allen II, and a fair amount of newcomers as well. Rhett Lauder, the first-round draft pick in last summer's Major League Baseball draft, he will actually make his professional debut when he starts Friday's opener against the Lansing Lugnuts, and overall a mood of optimism on the eve of a new baseball season.
Our objective here is to continue to develop and get these guys ready. We've got some young guys, we've got some guys with experience. It's going to be a fun challenge for myself and staff to find the winning combinations, meaning hopefully getting these guys in positions to be better.
There's always eyes on you wherever you go, and even if it wasn't opening day, there'd still be eyes there. But it's kind of something you learn to embrace. I like pitching in front of a lot of people, and it's doing something I love. So I'm not too much pressure.
Play winning baseball. Don't play selfish baseball. Continue to win, hit behind runners, do the small things right, and you do the small things right, then you'll be able to handle the big opportunities. They want to win, and when you have guys that want to win collectively, then you start ripple affecting, and it starts building, and that is the contagious energy. That's what's going to really drive us this year.
Again, the first pitch Friday night scheduled for 7 o'clock as the Dragons host the Lansing Lugnuts, and both weekend games, Saturday and Sunday, will be early afternoon contests. First pitch for both those days scheduled around 1 p.m. At Day Air Ballpark, I'm Matt Digby.
Our time right now is 5:52. Calling all Disney fans. They're looking to expand Magic Kingdom. Coming up, what officials are now saying about the multi-million-dollar plan.
You're watching Your Day.
Well, good morning. We talked about hurricane season. Just want to touch on this real quickly. One thing that you really want to see with hurricanes to get them fired up is water temperature over 80. You want those converging winds that force the air upwards, abundant moisture, and light winds. Now, we mentioned all that. Now, what could go wrong for hurricanes? Well, that would be Saharan dust, and that is going to knock down the amount of moisture, and it's also going to knock down the amount of instability. For us, it is all about the fact that we have a ton of moisture in the air, but practically no instability. Because of that, we had a lot of light little showers yesterday. Today, we'll see a continuation of maybe a little bit of showers, but we're certainly getting a little bit drier here across the area. And tomorrow, we'll actually see the sun. For the eclipse day itself, should be fairly quiet. And for much of next week, it's back to the wet weather. On the roads this morning, no tie-ups or concerns as of right now, just a little bit of road construction around Dixie.
Disney is revealing some new details about its $60 billion expansion. One official says the project will include a new 14-acre area in the Magic Kingdom. He called it the largest expansion ever for the park, but he didn't announce any themes, designs, or when it will open. Disney's $60 billion expansion also includes projects in other parks and cruises over the next decade.
A new job opportunity is open for those nuts about peanuts. Hormel Foods is looking for 3 peanutters to chauffeur Mr. Peanut across America in the Nutmobile. The full-time job runs from June 2024 to June 2025. The company is looking for college graduates with a bachelor's degree in marketing, communications, advertising, or public relations. It goes without saying, but this is not an ideal occupation for anyone with nut allergies. Now, anyone interested should be apply at beapeanutnutter.com by April 14th. Nothing like a bunch of college boys riding around in the Nutmobile.
Hey, Bob, what are you doing after college? Oh, you know, going to this big law firm. What about you, Bill and Tex? We're going to the lawyers. And you? I'm driving the Nutmobile around town.
Nothing on the road.
I was preparing to cut you off.
No. You got to cut him off. He's getting there.
The Nutmobile lost its wheel and Joker ran away.
Hey!
Okay, we still have much more coming up on your day at 6 a.m.
It's opening day for the Dayton Dragons. Stay tuned. We have lots to tell you coming up next.
Excuse me. The FBI is investigating a case right here in the Miami Valley. We've got the latest next.
You're watching Your Day.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. Kings Island is testing their rides for opening day. The park officially opens to the public in 2 weeks on April 20th.
I love this so much. I've got like max Friday energy, and I would just love to go ride on a roller coaster right
I'm
now.
not on your level right now. Maybe you should go out for opening day.
No!
Melena can be in the studio with me, and you can just go out and ride some roller coasters.
It opens up the day after my birthday.
Is that a Saturday?
It opens up on April 40th or
40th?
20th. Mixing up some things there. Swifties, listen up. Taylor Swift's Laser Light Show returns to the Boone Shops. Get your tickets now. They've got 2 shows, Alex, okay?
Okay.
On Friday, April 19th, not April 40th, 39th.
You're just telling everyone your age, huh?
Hey, not quite. I'm not to 40 yet. I'm not to 40 yet.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Wow.
I'm sorry, buddy. It's okay. And get funky and enjoy some wine tomorrow night at Dewey in downtown Dayton. They're having a dance party with a DJ spinning vintage vinyls. Tickets are $25.
You'll love to see it, and this looks like a vibe.
Yeah. I know you and Megan have been to Dewey and you really enjoyed it. So.
It's great. Great little spot. I could see how this could be fun.
This is definitely on the top of my list of places I need to go.
Go on out. Have a good old time.
The wait is finally over. Today is opening day for the Dayton Dragons.
Yes, and guess what? There's tons of excitement down at Day Air Ballpark.
Yeah.
Melena Brown joins us live now to give us a sneak peek of what's to come. Melena.
Guys, it's been a long 7 months since the Dayton Dragons closed out their 2023 season right here at Day Air Ballpark, but now we're back for opening day. There is so much to enjoy this year and plenty of opportunity to come watch a game. The Dragons will play 60 home games right here at the ballpark. The start of the 24th season will kick off with the opening pitch at 7:10 tonight, and you'll want to get here early as the gates open at 6. Of course, you can get tickets at DaytonDragons.com. There are options for single games, groups, and a variety of season ticket choices.
You can purchase a season ticket package consisting of fewer than 10 games and still get the benefits as a season ticket holder.
Those benefits include VIP parking options, 20% team store discount or team store coupon, access to either the Dragons family or business clubs, and so much more. Stay tuned because coming up in just about 30 minutes, we're going to hear what makes the opening day for the Dragons so special. Back to you.
Well, of course, we got one more day of school for some of the kiddos before they could go out to the opening day. I know a couple of my neighbors' kids always love going to see ball games, and I got to make it out this year. It's going to be a cloudy day overall. During the morning, it'll be cool, but not necessarily that cold. As we get into the evening, there could be a window where we don't have as much cloud cover, but I still think that we're going to remain in the mid to upper 40s. So keep in mind, if you are going out to the ball game, you're probably going to need something heavier outside. Imagine the players that are standing out there in left field, how they'll feel out there, and just imagine not moving around. Now, if you are doing anything today, it is going to be a relatively quiet day, and over the weekend, we'll see some milder weather. On the roads this morning, so far so quiet. Really haven't seen any tie-ups or concerns thus far. Just a reminder, Rip Rap Road as well as 571 closed due to the flooding that is ongoing.
The FBI is investigating a case right here in the Miami Valley. You're looking at agents at one of 2 raids in the area. Officials tell us they're both linked.
Jenna Lee Bork was in Troy. She brings us up to speed as the investigation rolls on.
Agents were in downtown Dayton near Monument Avenue conducting court-authorized law enforcement activity. They were also on Barnhart Road near US 55 in Troy. I spoke to a resident to get a feel for what that neighborhood is like.
This has been an extremely peaceful neighborhood, probably one of the more established neighborhoods, kind of, you know, just an older neighborhood. We've never had any problems, very family friendly.
FBI agents were at a home in a quiet neighborhood in Troy sometime around 3:30 p.m. yesterday. They stayed for at least 5 hours.
They focused their efforts on a car and a brown 2-story home. You can see federal agents coming out of the front door of the house. The house backs up to a creek, and later I saw 2 agents who looked like they were stationed there keeping watch. A robot was also in the backyard, but it isn't clear why it was being used or what it can detect. Cottrell says she's never seen anything like this here.
This is very surprising. It's not something that is typical for here. It was a little worrisome. Like I got a call from a family and said, hey, look on the news. I thought maybe it was a gas leak at first or something like that.
Troy wasn't the only location the FBI was at for this investigation. They were also downtown Dayton on Monument Avenue between Kiwi and Taylor Streets. Dayton police had that area blocked off. A self-storage building and the Entrepreneurs Center are 2 of the buildings on that block.
A representative with the Cincinnati field office of the FBI tells us this was all part of an ongoing investigation. No other information will be released at this time. Back to you.
Our local communities in the path of totality are gearing up for people to start coming into our areas this weekend. Now this Monday, Darke County will go dark. That area will stay dark longer than any part of Ohio. The Darke County Visitors Bureau says 30 to 40,000 people could travel to the area for the eclipse. That would nearly double its population.
The deputies are going to be upstaffed. I'll have a lot of deputies out on the road to provide a service to anybody who might need it. And I have staffed the 911 center with twice the staff I normally do.
If you want to head out to Darke County on Monday, the manager for Eldora Speedway says they've been planning for more than a year and there are still campsites available. Make sure you join us for Eclipse Across America, live stream from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time as we track the eclipse from coast to coast. Tune in for unmatched coverage with more than 50 live locations. Dozens of local meteorologists and NASA experts watch Eclipse Across America at Dayton247now.com.
And coming up in 30 minutes, we'll chat with Nick for an in-depth look to what the weather for the eclipse is looking like.
Our time right now is 6:07. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of the screen all morning long, even during commercials.
I'm Janae Bones in Washington with a look at sexual assaults in the U.S.
You're watching Your Day.
Well, you know, we talked about the baseball game, but we've got other things going on in town. Let's focus on what's going on right now. Temperatures 30s and 40s. Worth pointing out, though, it does feel like it is in the 30s, and this has been a theme of the last couple days. Not necessarily howling windy, but windy enough that you do produce a wind chill. And if you are going to be going out, let's say tonight, we've got the first Friday in the Oregon district. We have temperatures in the 40s, that right around the kickoff at 5 p.m. By the time you get into, let's say, the middle of the evening, or maybe walking over to the ballpark, temperatures will be in the upper 40s as well. By 9 p.m., we're sliding on down. Of course, First Fridays goes till 10 p.m. tonight. And because we are looking at the potential for some rather cold air, the National Weather Service has actually gone ahead and issued a freeze warning. What that means for us is temperatures will be cold enough that if you leave plants outside, you may not have a plant left in the morning. Just keep that in mind. We're still a little bit early for you to be planting anything without running the risk of it frost or a freeze. On the roads this morning so far, it's fairly quiet. No major issues as you head out the door. It has been moving smoothly all throughout the morning hours.
Nearly 2 million clothing steamers are now being recalled after consumers are reporting burn injuries. Now those injuries coming from this Black & Decker model HGS 011, the Easy Garment steamer. Hot water spraying or leaking out of it is what's causing the burns. Back in 2022, Empower Brands recalled about 500,000 steamers. It's now adding another 1.6 million units. Those were sold at several stores, including Walmart, Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Amazon.
Our time right now is 6:11. Here is a live look from our Troy traffic cam. It's cold out there now, but will that go away? Just ahead, Nick has a look at your forecast.
You're watching Your Day. April Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. Every 68 seconds, another American is sexually assaulted. Janae Bowen shares what can be done to protect people from this horrific crime.
Leah Forney's life is forever changed by a moment back in 2013.
He proceeded to grab me and rape me in my living room. And so what felt like an eternity, lasted a few minutes of my life that I can never get back.
She has turned her pain into purpose. She now runs a nonprofit organization called Save Me, which stands for Sexual Assault Advocacy for Victims Everywhere.
We have support groups, we have community. We're working on survivor stories in the form of documentaries and short films.
It appears her efforts and those of others are helping. According to the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, sexual violence has fallen by half in the last 20 years. Even still, millions of Americans have experienced sexual violence.
So we really see that compounding with things like deepfake pornography, with things like sexting, sextortion, revenge porn.
Nurse practitioner Jessica Peck says abuse that used to happen only in person is now amplified digitally. And young people are prime targets, with more than 4 in 5 female rape survivors reported that they were first raped before age 25, and almost half were first raped as a minor.
Believe kids when they tell you something happened, or if they tell you that their spidey sense is off.
Peck also says parents need to accept that sexual assault can happen to anyone, and they must talk to their children. And Forney is calling for more education, more funding for support services, and stronger laws around sexual assault. And if you've experienced it, she has this message for you.
It wasn't your fault. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace.
If you need support, information, advice, or a referral, please call the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE. I'm Janae Bowens reporting.
For right now, it is fairly quiet here in the Miami Valley, still very much so on the cloudy end of the spectrum, but at least at this point, the rain has at least given us a little bit of a break. Yesterday, it poured out in Springboro when I was at the gym, and frankly, it could be even in 1 or 2 periods where it does come down a little bit heavier today. I think for the most part, areas of drizzle or sprinkles would be probably about it, but can't rule out completely 1 or 2 showers. As we get into tonight, we start to see some clearer skies. For tomorrow, it's interesting because I do think we'll get some sunshine out of it, but there will likely be some passing clouds during the afternoon and evening. Meanwhile, for Sunday, what starts quiet ends up becoming just a touch more busy, especially as we get into overnight Sunday into Monday. We'll hold off on the eclipse forecast because we're going to talk about that in detail, or at least as much detail as I feel comfortable at this stage out. Of course, I really don't want to get pinned down to the 3-minute time period. But anyway, for today, temperatures upper 40s, so not the best. We've had better, but it could be a lot worse, especially considering the last few days outside. Meantime, tonight down into the low 30s. Some of us will dip below the freezing mark. Tomorrow, 55 degrees, a mix of sun and clouds. Will be warmer. Speaking of warmer, much warmer Monday and Tuesday. Sunday night to Monday, 1 chance of rain, then Tuesday, another. So if we sneak in the eclipse on the 1 day without a lot of wet weather, boy, someone is looking down upon us with very much so nice conditions. As for Wednesday and Thursday, both in the 60s, both featured some chances of showers. On the roads this morning, so far it's been relatively quiet. I haven't seen that many tie-ups or concerns as of right now.
Our time right now is 6:19. A unique job opportunity is on the horizon. Coming up, how you can drive around on the Nutmobile.
You're watching Your Day.
Time for Pet of the Day here on your day. Of course, we celebrate pets, the cold-blooded, the warm-blooded, and, well, the lizard, and or maybe not lizard. I'm trying to, but bearded dragon. Sorry, my brain turned off there for a second. Bearded dragon. This is Joey. Joey was sent in by Bill and Kathy. I don't know much about bearded dragons, but I find them to be fascinating looking creatures, and obviously, you know, if it's more of a pet for you, I'm here for it. As for today, maybe this is your day. You like it a little bit cold. Not for me. It is going to be cloudy. Temperatures 10 a.m. 40 degrees. By noontime, should be in the low to mid 40s. In terms of walking the pets, if you're going to do it, maybe the middle of the day would be better. Once you get into the afternoon, we have a slightly better chance of any type of showers, but frankly, there's no period where I could say this is where it's definitely going to rain and this is where it's not. In addition, it is going to be a little bit warmer during the afternoon and evening. So consider that in mind. It's going to be just a handful of degrees, but sometimes a handful of degrees can feel a little bit warmer, especially if we don't have as much wind during the afternoon as we do this morning. If you are traveling this morning, so far it's been relatively quiet. Haven't seen any types or concerns. It does look like traffic is moving pretty steadily as you head out the door.
A new job opportunity is open for those nuts about peanuts. Hormel Foods is looking for 3 peanutters to chauffeur Mr. Peanut across America in the Nutmobile. Yeah, the full-time job runs from June of 2024 to June of 2025. The company's looking for college graduates with a bachelor's degree in marketing, communications, advertising, or public relations. It goes without saying, but this is not the ideal occupation for anyone with nut allergies or anyone interested should apply at bapeanutter.com by April 14th. There's a lot of, it's not, that story's nuts.
Good one.
Yeah.
All right, and here is a look at today's poll question. It's deep dish pizza day today, so we want to know what food makes the best leftovers. Get your answers in. Coming up at 6:50, we'll share our answers and take a look at what some of you had to say.
There's one correct answer. Let's see if anybody gets it. Our time right now is 6:24, still to come.
It's opening day for the Dragons. Stay tuned. We have some good information coming up next.
The Dayton Food Bank is working to help address hunger in the Miami Valley. How you can help next.
But first, here's Julie Moran with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
There is nothing more frustrating than when you want to take a photo and your phone says, storage full. Oh, and it always happens at the most inconvenient times. I was just at my godson's wedding and I took hundreds of photos. If I had had the Click Free Pro, I would have loaded them onto this and gifted him one of these as a keepsake of his special day. And the Click Free Pro can store thousands of photos and videos while fitting easily in your hand. You know, other storage options they're bulky, they're expensive, and sometimes you need other accessories to work with different devices. Well, this has a port. Look at this. Look how easily that went in for each device. So you can use it with your laptop or your tablet. It's light and it's a great deal. The Click Free app, this is really cool, allows you to scan old photos so they don't sit on a shelf or a box anymore. And also, this is really cool. I love this little carrying case. It's cute. They come in lots of different colors, just perfect. Right now, we are offering 50% off. Did you hear what I said? Get this, 50% off on the Click Free Pro. So I want you to head over to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer. And believe me, these are going to go very, very quickly.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 quick stories to get your day started.
Yeah, you see, this is Buckingham Palace before the king moves in. If you want to go check it out, they're going to have an opportunity to take a grand royal tour, as they say. As though I sound Italian, not British just now. It's a good, rare opportunity to go check out the palace. Lots of gold in there.
Yeah.
Like to flaunt their money, don't they?
They do love to flaunt their money. Let's see what the next one is.
I mean, I get that.
I wish I lived in a palace.
Well, maybe one day we can live in palaces, right? No?
One day.
Oh, wow.
Maybe if we win the jackpot.
Yeah, right.
And a Scottish singer is promoting the benefits of speech fasting. Lulu says she stays completely silent until noon to take care of her instrument. Recent studies also show it can reduce stress and lower blood pressure.
There's a couple people here I wish would protect their instrument.
Practice their silence.
Nick looked at us. Why do you think we're talking about you, Nick?
We are.
He looked at us. We did not look at him, just for the record. Anyways, the mayor of an Italian island overrun by goats is giving them away. Turns out there are only 100 people on the island, but 600 goats. So it's causing some, quote, tension. There aren't any restrictions on who can apply for a goat or how many you can request.
Sheesh.
How many would you request?
At least 3.
3. They gotta, that's like a party.
Honestly, our grass is so long right now, and our lawnmower is not working. So some goats would do us good.
Yeah. They'd be rocking and rolling. They look evil, but that's okay. Especially that one. You can't see its eyes.
No, I think that one's cute. It's all fluffy. That one looks meh.
Yeah.
That one's cute.
And the countdown to the 2024 total solar eclipse is on in just a matter of days. Parts of the Miami Valley will be in the totality for the first time in more than 2 centuries.
That's right, and state and local leaders are preparing to make sure everyone has a safe experience. Gwen Falloon joins us now with how Riverside is doing something a little unique.
Last night, Riverside City Council actually declared a temporary state of emergency. They're expecting tens of thousands of people to be in this area for 2 of the larger events nearby, but the issue is not the number of people coming, it's the traffic they'll bring. Both events are on either side of Harshman Road, and that's the city's main corridor through Riverside.
But the main idea is to help organize the traffic so we can get people flowing as quickly as possible. And the state of emergency just, I think, helps build awareness about that. And again, just sets that expectation that we want people to come and have a great time, but to be patient, be safe, and to just know that we may have to flex traffic patterns during the day depending on how things actually evolve.
It's only a week-long decoration. It started at midnight and is in effect until next Friday at 12 a.m. That gives the city some wiggle room because it's hard to predict when people will be arriving and when they'll be heading out. Now, for you all at home, this declaration really isn't going to affect your day-to-day life. Just keep in mind, Monday it's going to be busy, so pack your patience, fill your gas tank, and be responsible. Back to you.
And starting today, you can head to Piat Castle, Macacheek for a solar eclipse demonstration at 11:30 and 2 at the castle. There's going to be a demonstration showing how the moon casts the shadow as it moves between the sun and the earth. Participants will discover how the land surrounding the castle has changed since the last one in 1806. They'll also show how they're expecting it to appear on Monday. They'll hold a demonstration daily at the same time through Monday. It's free to attend. The address is on your screen. Now make sure you join us for Eclipse Across America, live stream from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern as we track the eclipse from coast to coast. Tune in for unmatched coverage with more than 50 live locations, dozens of local meteorologists and NASA experts. Watch Eclipse Across America at Dayton247now.com.
And as we get excited, there's also been a lot of concern about the weather for Monday's eclipse. Will it rain, snow? It's going to be warm. What can we expect?
Yeah, exactly. So just a reminder, here we are at 307. It'll just be crossing over the Indianapolis or Indiana and Ohio border. Realistically, we're talking about 3:10 for most of the Miami Valley to be covered, and then by 3:12, 3:13. So we're only talking 3 minutes of the day.
Yep.
But the general theme of the day is there to be some clearing. So early on in the morning, maybe even as late as, let's say, 9, we're going to have some showers and clouds in the area. By the time we get into the afternoon, the general trend has been for some of the clouds to clear. Now, I don't necessarily think all the clouds will clear, but the optimist in me says it will be sunny enough that we will get at least the majority, if not the full effect of the eclipse. Also worth pointing out, for people coming into town, it will be near 70 degrees.
Oh, I love the sound of that.
Oh, I know everybody's going to be thinking about it. And here's the other thing. We are in a totality. Other areas may see clouds, so there may be more crowds coming to us because of the milder temperatures and also, again, the potential for some sunshine.
Okay, well, good to know, and thank you for breaking it down for us. And, you know, hopefully we're not left disappointed Monday night.
Or stuck in traffic. Speaking of traffic, let's go to it, shall we? Well, right now the roads are generally speaking pretty quiet. We haven't had any tie-ups or concerns on the major highways. Just a reminder, a couple of things we're watching. The Rip Rap Road area and over towards 571. Both of those are right now at least a little bit flooded, so consider that if those are part of your morning commute, still going to have those issues in around that area.
The Dayton Food Bank wants your help to fight hunger in the Miami Valley. The food bank in downtown Dayton supports underserved members of the Dayton community by providing food and related supplies to those in need. Organizers tell us they need volunteers.
One of the things that we're always looking for is donations and, of course, volunteers. Because a lot of people think that the only way that they can get involved in our mission is to have a pocket full of money that they can hand over. But the truth is that just donating your time and donating your advocacy to bring awareness to the issue of hunger is a really big help.
Our team here at Dayton 24/7 Now will be heading out to the food bank on Tuesday to volunteer. We'll be helping sort through donations and putting together boxes and meal kits to give to the community. If you're interested in volunteering your time at the food bank, you can head to thefoodbankdayton.org and set up a time. The wait is finally over. Today is opening day for the Dayton Dragons.
Oh, baseball is back, so we sent Melena Brown live to Day Air Ballpark this morning. Melena, the excitement is building for this first game of the season.
It definitely is, but really all that's on my mind is going inside and getting a hot dog. Eventually that will happen this season, but it's been a long 7 months since the Dayton Dragons closed out their 2023 season right here at Day Air Ballpark, but we're back for opening day. There is so much to enjoy this year and plenty of opportunity to come watch a game. The regular season has 120 games, so there's plenty of chances to catch a game. The schedule includes games Tuesdays through Saturdays, and there are a ton of ticket options. And of course, if you have kids, you're going to want to check out the Dragons Family Club. I'm told opening day is one of the best days of baseball season.
Opening night for the Dayton Dragons is the end of a long and detailed process. There aren't very many sports that have what would be the equivalent of your Super Bowl at the start of the year. Maybe NASCAR does that to some degree with the Daytona 500, where their first event is their biggest event. In a way, that's sort of how we look at it also.
Tom Nichols with the Dayton Dragons shared how excited the entire staff of the team and stadium are to get this season kicked off. Now stay tuned throughout the morning. Coming up here in just about an hour, we're going to talk live with some of the officials from the Dragons about what's to come this season. You're not going to want to miss it. Back to you.
Our time right now is 6:37. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Coming up, Matt Digby breaks down some of the new and familiar faces on this year's Dayton Dragons roster.
You're watching Your Day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Wicked weather dumped snow on parts of the country this week, including Albany, New York, and in Maine. This school football field near the Ohio River looked more like a swimming pool after rainfall led to flooding. In West Virginia, Wheeling Island sits in the river, which started to overtake streets, fields, and appeared to turn clusters of homes into their own tiny islands.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Baseball is back in Dayton for 2024, and the Dayton Dragons have 3 home games to open the new season starting Friday night when they host the Lansing Lugnuts. And there is a lot of excitement around the 2024 roster. A new manager in Cincinnati native Vince Harrison Jr., and the roster has a mix of experienced players such as Ruben Ibarra and Jay Allen II, and a fair amount of newcomers as well. Rhett Lauder, the first-round draft pick in last summer's Major League Baseball draft, he will actually make his professional debut when he starts Friday's opener against the Lansing Lugnuts, and overall a mood of optimism on the eve of a new baseball season.
Our objective here is to continue to develop and get these guys ready. We've got some young guys, we've got some guys with experience. It's going to be a fun challenge for myself and the staff to find the winning combinations, meaning hopefully getting these guys in positions to be better.
There's always eyes on you wherever you go, and even if it wasn't opening day, there'd still be eyes there. But it's kind of something you learn to embrace. I like pitching in front of a lot of people, and it's doing something I love. So I'm not too much pressure.
Play winning baseball. Don't play selfish baseball. Continue to win, hit behind runners, do the small things right, and you do the small things right, then you'll be able to handle the big opportunities. They want to win, and when you have guys that want to win collectively, then you start ripple affecting, and it starts building, and that is the contagious energy. That's what's going to really drive us this year.
Again, the first pitch Friday night scheduled for 7 o'clock as the Dragons host the Lansing Lugnuts, and both weekend games, Saturday and Sunday, will be early afternoon contests. First pitch for both those days scheduled around 1 p.m. At Day Air Ballpark, I'm Matt Digby.
This year's hurricane season could be one for the record books, with nearly double the average of number of named storms predicted this season. From June to November, forecasters predicted 23 named storms, including 11 hurricanes and 5 Category 3 higher major hurricanes. It's the most active April forecast ever issued. Now, on average, there are 14 named storms with 7 hurricanes, 3 of them major. And Nick, this is why I'm so glad to have you here, because there are some things in the atmosphere I don't even think about. I just think hurricane, okay, it's a hurricane. But today we're talking about how it forms.
Yeah, so first things first, really this is probably the biggest key is the water temperature. We talked about the sea surface temperatures a lot. When it gets into the 90s and near 100, that's where these hurricanes go from tropical storm to Cat 4, Cat 5, almost instantaneously, feels like. You also need winds that converge aloft and abundant moisture. Now, let's say, how do we stop a hurricane? Well, the best way is dry air. And typically what we would see is Saharan dust coming over from Africa, and that would A, reduce the amount of moisture, and B, would also knock down the temperatures. However, this season, based on some of the models we have for Saharan dust, it seems like it's not going to be a big season for that due to, I believe it's going to be a La Nina cycle. So effectively, one of them mechanisms that actually produce weaker hurricanes is going to be gone. So this is something we have to look at and go, all right, signs are pointing to a very, very active hurricane season.
Saharan dust. I would have never guessed, Nick.
Yeah, the other way is basically a low pressure system coming in off the East Coast. But again, without those, we're talking about the potential for a lot of storms and a lot of strong storms.
Dude, who needs Bill Nye when we got Nick? There we go. Our time right now is 6:45, still to come.
It's deep dish pizza day, so we want to know what food makes the best leftovers. Get your answers into our Facebook poll question. Digital producer Max is joining us after the break with a look at some of your answers.
You're watching Your Day.
Good morning. Here's what's going on for right now. We do have some cloudy skies across the area. It is definitely a morning where we have continued with the cloud deck, but this is kind of it in terms of the lowest of the lows. We're going to warm up here. We're about 12 degrees below average during the daytime, at least a handful, close to half dozen degrees or more during the morning hours. Saturday and Sunday, both going to be milder during the days. We're pointing out tomorrow based on temperatures near 32. They're likely to see some plants either die or wither, especially if they're not, or they're more sensitive. So keep that in mind if you are planting already. Temperatures on Monday should be near 70. Next week in the 60s. Active weather Sunday night to Monday morning. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday all feature some chances of showers. On the roads this morning, it is a very much so quiet morning commute thus far. Good news there. And, you know, if you're going out to dinner tonight, perhaps maybe going out to First Fridays, getting that big food. Hey, you know what? It's going to be cold. May want to pack some of it for tomorrow morning.
That's right. And digital producer Max joins us now. And Max, what is our poll question?
Well, today is National Deep Dish Pizza Day, and people say pizza's a pretty good leftover. I think it could be better, though. What is the best leftover food?
Okay, so like I have one that's, I believe, a step above the rest. And there are very few foods that get better on the second day. I think chili is one of those foods.
Yeah.
I think chili, the flavors have a time to just sit, settle, and when you reheat it, it just has a richer flavor profile. The other thing I have, like one of my guilty pleasures is like fried chicken, cold fried chicken the day after.
Cold fried chicken.
Yes.
Is it still like crispy?
I don't know why I like it. I can't tell you, but I enjoy it. Alex?
Okay. I agree with the chili. I agree with that one.
Really? Okay.
I'm sorry, Nathan. Then I also have pizza and creamy tortellini soup. So good.
Soup does hit different too the second day.
Yeah.
The flavors similar to chili marinate a little bit.
Exactly.
Like the pies work the same way, because once you have all those ingredients coming together, pies, cheesecakes, absolutely top tier. But the real answer is Chinese food. I love where it's cold. I love it the day after. Max?
The cold thing. Cold fried chicken, cold Chinese food. You can heat it up. And Chinese food especially, it's just as good in the microwave.
All right, Max, what's your one thing?
One thing, honestly, I do like cold pizza. Yeah, I don't mind it.
Cold, and you're complaining that
No,
us
but
about
that's
cold?
different, because if you heat up cold pizza in the microwave, it gets all soggy.
Okay.
I think reheated pizza tastes perfectly fine.
I'll take it either way. Our time right now is 6:52. The FBI investigating a case right here in the Miami Valley. We've got the latest on the cases next.
You're watching Your Day.